Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called Americans Coming Back from Europe Reverse Culture Shock. So I'm guessing it's going to be a lot of differences, I don't know, but hopefully it's going to be like that. It looks very interesting. So subscribe, comment and like, and let's check it out.
We'll drive through food.
Yeah, drive-through. Yeah, I know.
Like there's no drive-through McDonald's.
A lot of Americans hug each other.
Yeah.
Like in France, you don't like you do.
Well, you do the
knees,
kiss. Yeah.
You like.
Hey guys, it's Caroline. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm with Kyla. Hi. So Kyla is from Nebraska. We're both Nebraska natives, but she lives in Paris, and I live in Italy, and so we connected online, and this is our first time hanging out in person. We were both in Nebraska for the holidays, so we decided
what are
to
the odds
film
of
videos
two
together.
coming back from Europe?
We already filmed a couple others, so you can check those out on Kyla's channel, which I'll link below. And then I have another one we filmed, so I'll link that below too. And this one, we're gonna be talking about reverse culture shock, since we're both in the US right now. Obviously, moving to Europe, we had culture shock there. So after 3 years in France, and then I've been in Italy for 7, coming back to the US, we obviously notice things that are different about the way people do life here, the way life is here. Right. So I thought it'd be fun to talk about that.
Yeah,
today.
for sure.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, okay, so this one's like super random, but this is what I first noticed when my parents picked me up from the airport. Because they picked me up and we were going into the parking garage to put my suitcases in the car and go home. And the first thing that I immediately said is, oh my god, the cars are so huge. Because in the Midwest especially, I feel like everyone drives a truck or a big SUV, and it's just like way different than in the tiny streets
they
of Paris,
have like very compact
everyone
cars.
drives a very small car. And like the parking spaces are bigger and the roads are bigger, like everything related to cars is just bigger. And I was like so surprised right away when I got back to the US because of that reason.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Okay, so one of the first things I noticed when I got back this time actually is I was in New York visiting my brother, and we went out for dinner, and his friend ordered a cocktail with his dinner. In Italy, we order wine or beer or water or whatever. Anything besides a cocktail is okay with dinner. Like cocktails are for before or after dinner, but having a cocktail with your meal, it's just something you'll never see in Italy. And then on top of that, if you have a drink, you usually pair it with whatever you're eating. So if you're having red wine, you would be eating meat. And if you're having white wine, you would be having seafood. They're very specific with like the particular foods that are paired with certain alcohol. If you have a burger, you'd have a beer with it. So yeah, they're very specific in their food and drink pairings. And so I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, why is he having a cocktail with pasta? Like that's just so
a cocktail,
what we do in Italy. And I never thought about it until I came back here.
Something that's actually quite interesting to me is that now that she's talking about it, it's also like aperitifs, I think, are very common. I don't know if all throughout Europe, but I'm pretty sure that's the case, and especially in Italy. Like after a meal, after dinner, like you usually have like a limoncello or an amaretto, and I don't think that's quite common in the US. I think you would probably order like shots of it, and not as an aperitif. Like you would order as in like, we're going out drinking, give me a shot of this. I don't know. I think that would be like something interesting that I think it does happen.
Yeah, it's the same in France too. Like they're very specific on their pairings as well. Okay, for me, my second weird culture shock that I had coming back, or reverse culture shock I had coming back, was just like how big the grocery stores were. Like maybe it's because I live in Paris especially. Like
I feel like I'm so scooched away. Okay.
Maybe it's because I live in like Paris especially, but like the grocery stores are much smaller.
Tiny.
There's like no room in the aisles. They're like very small, and so it was just so weird to come back here and have like Costco and huge grocery stores that you just like wouldn't see like as the norm in France. And then also like the groceries themselves are very big. Like
that's so true.
A liter or gallon or whatever of like milk, whereas like in France you would really buy like half the size or half the size. Like you buy way bigger quantities in the US than you would in France. And part of that is probably because we have to carry our groceries home, but at the same time, like I think
True.
it's just America has a very like Costco culture, like
Yeah.
which is like you buy everything in bulk, like you store up on everything, you buy everything in bulk, and then you do your grocery shopping like once a week or
Yeah,
once every
because
2 weeks.
everything's
even,
far
whereas
away.
in France and Italy, like the culture is way more
You
like
go,
you
like,
need
every
to
2
buy your
days.
food fresh like once every few days. Like especially at the boulangerie, like where you buy your baguette, like you would never buy that a week ahead
Yeah,
of when
the
you
bread
would eat it.
goes
You
bad
buy it
after, like,
daily,
24
like
hours.
things like that. And so
Yeah, same in Italy.
yeah, it's very different here.
Right?
Yeah.
Sure.
So true.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next culture shock coming back to America from Italy was how early we have dinner here. Because in Italy we eat around 8 or 8:30 at night, but in
Same in
America
France, yeah.
between like 5 and 6:30ish we'll have
5?
dinner in America. Like as
That's
early
way
as
too
5,
early.
which is just unheard of in Italy. Like if
That's
you're
a
doing
snack.
That's
or
way too
lunch.
early.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, of course.
So I was just took some time to adjust to that
Everyone
earlier
goes to
dinner
bed
time,
later.
and then on top of that, you go to bed earlier usually in the U.S. I mean, unless
That's
it's a
what
weekend
it
and you're
is.
going out. But like in Italy, I'll go to bed around midnight or later because we're out usually until midnight at least if we have dinner at 8:30.
Right.
And then instead here,
I think that depends on, like, on
sometimes I'm
family
in bed at like
things.
9.
Yeah.
If I have dinner at 5, it's like what else is there to do? So-
Same, yeah. For
Yeah.
me, one of the biggest reverse culture shocks that I had coming back was just the convenience of everything in the US. Like I was kind of goes with my last point of how big the groceries were, like how much you can stock up on at once. But really the biggest difference is like just the convenience of like driving from one point
One
to
place
another,
to
like
another.
one place to another. Because in Paris, like I take the metro and I walk everywhere, and like yeah, I really enjoy doing that. But like here in Nebraska especially, like I drive
don't-
in my car from like the
can't
house
walk
to the
anywhere.
grocery store back to the house without having to carry my groceries very far at one time, or like I don't have to switch metros or anything. I just like drive from one place to another, and I feel like that's just like so convenient.
That's a-
compared
and a
to, like,
very American
what I have
thing
in
to
France.
say.
And I love walking and everything. It's just very different vibe for sure.
So my next reverse culture shock I had when I came here was how friendly everyone is, which is something we talked about in Carla's video. But
Okay.
everyone is so
It's-
friendly.
everyone in
the
Italy
Midwest,
is rude.
especially, but in America in general, they're a lot more open and they'll say hi to you. Your cashier will talk to you when you're checking out at the grocery store. They'll have conversation with you. If you're, in a park walking around and see somebody, you say hi. Whereas in Italy, it's really strange to say hi to someone you don't know.
Strange.
I actually prefer the American way of being, friendly to everybody,
Yes.
whether you know them or not. But I felt sort of shocked the first time I was like in a park walking around and someone said hi to me and I didn't know them. I was just like, oh, hi. I forgot people do that here. So it's cool. I love it. And I love that that's part of our culture. But yeah, it was kind of a shock to me when I came back.
No, I wrote down the exact same thing, like small
Oh my God,
talk,
no.
which again we talked about in my video. But like small talk for me is such a foreign concept coming back to the US, because in France, like no one small talks at all. Like you don't talk about the weather with a stranger. You don't talk about
But just
like, how your
a
day
hello.
was with
That's just polite.
a random worker somewhere. Like you just don't. So like small talk was a huge culture shock for me coming back, reverse culture shock for me coming back, because like I actually didn't know how to communicate. Like I felt like I was being so awkward when I was like going through the Trader Joe's checkout line or whatever. Like I actually felt like I was being so awkward, because my cashier would be like, oh, how's your day? Like, did you find everything you needed? And I felt like I was giving like really short answers compared to like a typical Midwesterner who would
Right.
like go on and on.
Uh-huh.
And so I felt like I was being kind of rude. And like, I just, yeah.
Actually,
it
I
was
think
very
it's about the
much
Midwest, I
reverse
think.
culture shock.
They're very
Yeah.
friendly.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, so my next one is coffee shop culture. So
Okay.
in
We
What?
don't have that in France either.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like in
Okay.
Italy, if you have a coffee, you can stand at the bar at the counter and drink your coffee there, and you don't pay extra. But if you want to sit down at the bar in Italy
You don't
or
pay
the coffee
extra.
shop, you have to pay an extra fee. And in America
my.
instead, the price is the same no matter what if you
Of
sit down or
course.
stand up. But standing up and drinking your coffee isn't really a thing in America.
No,
I
you
think
sit
that's more
down.
Italian for sure, more European.
Yeah.
Or you just
And
go.
so like having your little espresso shot in Italy and just taking it and going. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just different.
Right. Well, and I just feel like in the United States there's like a coffee shop culture of grabbing a coffee and then like studying or doing work at a coffee
Yeah.
shop.
Right.
Whereas like
That's not a
in
thing
Paris,
there?
that does exist, yes, but it's not like normal really. Whereas in the US, it's like totally normal to like meet a friend for coffee or like study while
I'm so confused.
Right.
or while drinking coffee or like
Even
do-
getting to-go
yeah.
coffee.
Or
Like,
yeah,
to-go
here-
coffee is not a thing in Italy.
Yeah, here there's like literally
What do you-
drive-throughs where you can get coffee,
Uh-huh.
and like the Starbucks drive-through or the whatever. There's coffee
Yeah,
drive-throughs.
they don't have
is
that
not
over
a
there.
thing at all in France, obviously.
Well, drive-through food.
Yeah,
isn't a
drive-through-
thing either.
yeah, I know,
Like,
so-
there's no drive-through McDonald's or
yeah,
anything.
so that's a lot.
Okay, that's
different
crazy
for
to me.
Sure,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and my final reverse culture shock was the fact that they put ice in drinks
Oh.
again. Like I always miss that when I'm in France because I love like an
But, like, a
unsweetened
nice-
iced tea, which you just
Yeah, like
cannot
iced tea.
find in France anywhere.
Iced coffee.
And I love like just having ice in my water. Coming back and like having ice in my drinks was like such a pleasant surprise. So
Yeah.
that was like a pleasant reverse culture shock. I
Yeah,
would say.
yeah, that's true. Like in Italy, it's the same. You have to ask for ice if you want, and a lot of
Yeah.
times they won't even have it when you ask for
Right.
it. So,
Oh.
Yeah, and like iced coffee in France is really hard to find.
well, and it's not. a
Really?
thing,
It's
like-
not, no, it's like they look at you weird if you get an iced coffee. And
Oh my God,
especially
really?
If you want an iced coffee in winter, which like many Americans do.
Yeah.
Like they just don't. They stop serving iced lattes like in September
Uh-huh.
in Paris. Yeah, so very
They're like,
different
no
in
iced
that
coffee
regard.
for you. It's winter.
Okay, my last culture shock coming back to America from Italy was personal space. So in Italy, when you talk to someone, you stand really close together and you're touching each other. Overall, they're just a lot closer in distance when they have conversation with you. Whether
Okay,
you know
yeah.
the person or not, they get very close to you. Whereas in America, we have like
Even a stranger?
a
Lots
few
of
feet at
distance.
least.
Yeah.
If it's a stranger, even more. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't say there's one I prefer over the other, but it just feels
Different, especially in the Midwest where we have like ample space. I really
Yeah.
feel like personal space is like a very high
Ample
priority for a lot of
space.
people. Whereas in France, like in Paris especially, we don't have that luxury because of the metro and
It gets
everything.
crowded.
We have to be like close together, and like the streets are often crowded, so like personal space just like isn't as
Doesn't
much
exist.
Right.
in general.
Yeah. One time I was in a culture class at my university in Florence, and the teacher was talking to us about personal space and how different it is for Americans versus Italians. And he was like, you know, there were a couple Italian students in the class and a couple Americans, and he said, okay, I want one American to come stand a distance to me that they feel comfortable, and then I'll have the Italian come and stand a distance they feel comfortable. And the Italian was like right next to the professor, whereas the American was like 3 or 4 feet from
Can you
him.
back up,
Right.
please?
And he was like, and you know, see, this is like the difference between Italians and Americans. And that was kind of the first time I really thought about it, but it is so true.
Much different. Yeah.
And I would get uncomfortable with how close Italians were to me when I first moved to Italy.
I can
Right.
I
definitely
was
see
like,
why.
this is
Yeah.
so weird. Why are they standing so close?
so
and
close
keep
to
backing
you,
up and
yeah.
then keep moving forward.
Right.
But now I've
Please,
learned to embrace
space.
that part of
Right.
life in Italy.
Right.
So is that our last point?
Yeah, I have one bonus one.
Okay.
Which is, I feel like a lot of Americans hug each other.
Yeah.
And, like in France, you don't like you do.
Well, you
the
do the
knees,
kiss, yeah.
You like kiss each other. on
But
the
in
cheeks.
Italy, like, don't
So it's
people
like
hug each other?
hugging really isn't like part of the culture in France. Whereas like here, you hug friends, family, like anyone
course,
you're like
yeah.
remotely close to,
Right.
you hug, or like remotely know you hug.
Yeah, so
and
true.
so that's which is kind of funny because it's like not personal space,
Right.
but at the same time,
Yeah.
like
Hugging.
I don't
It's
know,
true,
hugging
yeah.
is very much part of the Midwest culture,
Right.
and that was kind of a shock to me getting hugged by everybody. I do love that actually about
Yeah.
I do love hugs. I do
Right.
think that's good about
Yeah.
the
It's-
American culture, but
Uh-huh.
definitely was not typical French at all.
Yeah, but if you like tried to do the kiss
No,
with
people
an
would think
American,
that's
like they would think that was
weird.
like so close. and,
Absolutely, yeah.
Hugging for some reason doesn't feel.
Yeah,
It's true, actually.
So, yeah, I never thought
Yeah.
about that. All right, well that is everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video on reverse culture shock. Let us know if any of you have experienced reverse culture shock in the comments below. Make sure to check out Kyla's videos on her channel that we did. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this. I'll definitely be doing more videos with Kyla in the future. And thank you so much, Kyla,
Yeah.
for coming on my channel.
Thank you so much.
And I'll see you guys next time. Ciao for now.
Bye.
okay, they made some pretty interesting points. I think to me the funniest one, and I think it's funny because it's again it's a bit of a misnomer. The thing about Italians apparently and to a certain point also apparently French people, but especially Italians, they stand very close to you, the personal space isn't really a thing apparently. And they're when they're talking to you, it doesn't matter if it's a stranger, they're gonna get very close to you and they're gonna be talking to you, just whatever. And you would think, okay, well, they are the personal space, it's definitely something of a, can you back up a little bit? I feel a little uncomfortable with you standing so close to me because I don't really know you. But it's weird that at the same time they're oh no, hug, we don't really do hugs, because it's if you're standing that close to me, wouldn't you want to hug each other? I don't know, that seems weird to me. And then again, the reverse, it's true. Americans are very hey, again, give me a little bit of space. I don't feel why are you standing so close to me? But at the same time, they oh, hugs. Of course I want to hug you. And it's not necessarily someone that you oh, he's my mom or my dad, my brother, or a close friend. It's no. We're just we're huggers. It's it's fine, whatever. It doesn't really have to mean a thing. It's not really a big deal. But it's okay, so if you're not that uncomfortable with hugs, how come you're uncomfortable with people standing so close to you and you're talking? And sense of personal space of can you please back up a little bit? It's kind of weird, right? It's how come there are two things that apparently are very should be opposites, but they do it the opposite around. I would assume that it would be, of course, Italians they love to stand next to you when you're talking. Of course they're gonna also be huggers. It's no, absolutely not. It's I'm imagining you trying to hug an Italian or a French person that you just met, and they're gonna be whoa, you're being way too friendly, you're taking way too many liberties, and it's kind of weird to me because I don't really know you. And he's oh, I'm sorry, because I thought that if you were because you're doing the kiss, it's shouldn't you also be a fan of a hug? It's no, they're completely different things, which I find quite funny, because to me I think kisses probably are a little bit more I don't know, closed. I don't know. I would think it takes a certain amount of a bit of closeness to kiss a person. I don't know, obviously just on the cheek. But it is a little bit of oh wow, that's a little strange. This stranger is just kissing my cheeks. I think it's a little bit strange. But it's I don't know, and they're no, well, yeah, in the United States, that would obviously be very weird, because again, it's a stranger, why would they be doing that? The kiss thing, even if it's just, one or two, it's whatever, even just one, if you're saying hi to someone, you're just greeting someone, and you will do the cheek thing, I don't know, I think that's that would be weird. I think people will be oh, whoa, this is new, this is a little unexpected. So it is kind of strange to me. It's strange to me how they are no, this is weird. The kiss is weird, but I think kisses are maybe a little bit more, I don't know, personal than hugs. I don't know. I think, but that just again, it's trying to be a cultural thing, they said. It doesn't really make that much sense if you start to think about the logic. It's just the way it is, and it's do not overthink it, because I think if you start thinking about it I am, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's I don't know. It's just it's just done like that. Funny to me, another thing, it was the ice in the drinks, because it's wow, so you wouldn't have an iced coffee in the winter, because it's definitely it's not even offered. It's not even that people are going to be looking at you a little strangely. It's just it's plain, it's not on the menu. You can't really you can't order this, which I find a little strange, because it's well, but who are you to dictate what I want for a drink? If I want an iced coffee when it's I don't know, when it's snowing outside, I'm allowed to have my iced coffee. It's they're saying no, absolutely not, which I find a little strange. Maybe it's funny. And also, but what's the deal with ice? Because they said apparently it's not that common to find ice, iced drinks. Apparently, during the summer even. And if you want something iced, you have to, if not ice, but if you want some ice in your water, you have to ask for it, which in some places don't even we don't really do ice. It's don't you have ice? That's strange to me. Are you a restaurant or a place where they sell food and they don't have ice? Like, don't you have like the little machine in the fridge, or even just the old-fashioned way with like the ice tray cubes? Like, don't you have that? Aren't you like a place where food is made? I don't know. That's weird to me. I would love to know the explanation. Is it because of like, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Is it an air conditioning thing actually? Like, because I know that they don't really have in Europe. It's not really a thing like to have air conditioning. So maybe they think that the ice is gonna melt, and it's gonna melt. It's gonna make the water or whatever the drink is like watery and gross, because it's gonna start like sweating and it's gonna be like dissolved. Is that why it is? And maybe like because in the US like our air conditioning is more common, then maybe that's what it is. It's like, well, yeah, the odds of your drink maintaining the ice is gonna be a little bit better. So maybe that's why it is. I don't know. Just something that came up to me. The coffee shop culture. They mentioned like it's a little strange to me. It's like, how come it's not the most normal thing in the world to just like, I don't know, go work at a coffee shop, or maybe like go studying with like your laptop. Like, that's not that common in Europe. Like, people are gonna be looking at you a little strangely as well. That's weird to me, because again, I'm thinking, why? And you can't really get like coffee to go. Like, also that's weird. It's like, okay, the coffee culture in Europe, I think is totally different, and I don't really understand why that is. Like, I would love an explanation of why wouldn't you like grab your coffee to go? Like, if I'm in a hurry, like, can I just like grab my coffee? I have places to be. Maybe it's actually a thing about in Europe, like, it's not a thing to have like, oh no, you can just enjoy your coffee. It's like, it's not like, oh, I'm running late. It's like, no, you can just enjoy your coffee, because they have a more like leisurely paced lifestyle, and maybe that's why it is, and maybe that's why they don't really have like drive-throughs or anything, which also I'm surprised about. Like, don't like fast food chains have drive-throughs? Apparently they do not, and maybe that's what it is. Like, because this is a place where you can just like sit down and relax. Although that doesn't change the fact that, you know, again, I love, yes, they're relaxed, but maybe sometimes you're just running late because whatever, you know, circumstances happen, and maybe you're just running late. So you're like, can I get my coffee to go, please? He's like, no, apparently you can't, which I'm like, okay, well, you know, a little weird, but okay. The friendliness and the small talk, I've made it known, like, it's a little strange to me how they apparently, like, you can't, because I understand, like, small talk can be annoying, like, yes, and it's can be, like, again, it can be rewarding, but at the same time, I can understand why sometimes, or some people don't like it, because it's, like, pointless, but again, it's, like, it's nice to form, like, to have nice conversations with other people, but again, I can understand the logic of, like, no, I don't want to waste, like, time with like small talk because it's fake and whatever. I'm not gonna like meet this person ever again, so why would I even bother like with small talk? But just like a simple hello, like hi, like I'm getting into a place, I'm saying hey, good afternoon, or I don't know, like hello. I think that's just polite, and I think that's normal. So call me weird, but I think that's just normal. Not necessarily you're gonna strike up a conversation with them, but just like saying a simple hello, I think that's just polite, and that's just like the polite thing to do. So I don't know, that's just me. I don't think I can change my ways. It's just like, to me, it's a politeness thing, and not necessarily like I don't know, like something else. The early dinners and, you know, the groceries, I think it's funny because it's like, well, the early dinners, I think, really does depend on like each personal lifestyle and which like family members have, you know, what's their schedule like, what's their jobs, what they're studying. I don't know. I don't think that you can actually like generalize this, because I get maybe like in Europe people do go to bed a little bit like later at night. Maybe it's also, and maybe in the Midwest, and it's maybe a particular thing about the Midwest as well, or maybe it's a particular thing about them and how they were raised, or their lifestyles, or their families. I think it's just like a thing about, again, it's like a personal thing that can be, that I don't think you can generalize, although I think I have like a good explanation for it. And it's kind of a sad one, is because in Europe, probably you have more things to do. Like there's, you know, at night, there's more, not that obviously the US doesn't have things to do, but I think especially like in the Midwest or in Nebraska, like there's maybe a thing of like, there aren't like a lot of things to do. So if there aren't a lot of things to do, it's like, why would you go to bed like at midnight if there's like, you can just be stuck at home and that's it, because there aren't many places, because everything's so far away that it's just like your house and that's it. And that obviously I think goes along with like the convenience of like the grocery stores and why everything's so big. It's like she said, yes, it's like because everything's like so far away, you're not going to the grocery store to get your groceries like, oh, I'm going like every 2 days. It's like, no, that's not possible, because it's like, I don't know, 30 kilometers away. So you have to like you have to stock up, and some people do maybe do their groceries like maybe weekly. Some people even do it like every 2 weeks. Like they have like this big haul, and it's like, this is gonna last us for 2 weeks, because again, the place where we can get food is way too far. And always in Europe, that's completely unheard of, like, because you're gonna have like some place nearby where you can just like walk, and you can walk, and or I don't know, like take the subway or whatever. But there's always going to be like places nearby, and it's not like a thing of like, oh, I'm going to have to like, it's 50 kilometers away and I have to drive. It's like, no, it's like the thing is going to be like near to you, and most places are within like a walking distance. So it's not necessarily that you need to stock up. And also because, few people, like not everyone has a car. So of course you're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to have like so many things, because you can't really carry all those things, which obviously in the US is different. It's like everyone has a car, because again, it's a necessity. You can't really walk anywhere, and I don't think Nebraska even has a subway. So it is, and public transport like buses and stuff, they're not really that good. So it is quite interesting. But I think it's funny that she was like, I love the convenience, because I think it's such an American thing to say. But also I get it, because that's how you were raised and that's how you grew up, and it's within your culture, it's very ingrained, that you're never, maybe you can, but I think it's very hard to like get out of like that mindset of like how nice it is to just like get in my car and just like go somewhere and just like and then get out and be whatever it is that I want to. Because even though yes, it's nice walking, and yes, like the subway can be very nice, I get what she means. Like, I get it's an American thing to say, but at the same time, I completely understand her, because it's like, yes, those two things are nice, but the convenience of just like literally walking to the front door, getting in your car and going places, like, I think that's just like a thing that cannot, even if the convenience of like, yes, you can walk and it's nice, and you can I don't know, you have the bus station, I don't know, like there's like even those, they have like great public transport or whatever, or like how nice of a walk it is. It's never going to take away from the fact that you can just like walk to the front door, get in your car and go places. So I understand completely what she said. It's like, yes, it's nice, but also the other is also very nice. I love getting in my car and going places. It's just like, yes, I completely understand her on that. But that was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.